Today, we're checking out horrific discovery beneath rarest 800-year-old tower in Britain.
In 1190, one of medieval England's worst atrocities occurred here in New York. And yet, sombre reminders of that night still hide in plain sight. What is this tower that overshadows its true past beneath? Well,
why did they show Anne Frank? What does this have to do with Anne Frank? Yo, I've seen another video about this tower. I think it's in York. Is that right? And something happened where a bunch of people were locked inside and then set fire. Like, that's pretty horrible. I assume that's what we're about to talk about. I don't know. But if something else happened here that's as atrocious as that, I'll be very surprised. Okay. Why Anne Frank? That's Anne Frank, right?
what is this tower that overshadows its true past beneath? Well, it has two very rare features.
Okay.
This is Clifford's tower. You'll instantly notice the four-leaf clover design. This is the only four-lobed tower in the whole of Britain.
Okay.
That's because King Henry III hired a French master mason for this project in 1245.
Oh, is that like a common French design, I guess?
It directly mirrors Tour Jeanette in Étampes, France.
Okay.
I was also, as always, struck by the diminutive size of this 13th century doorway.
Oh.
But even more interesting in this tower is through this doorway. A wooden toilet seat once sat on this ledge right here. The waste, of course, fell down the chute and out the tower.
Oh.
However, leading to the hole is another chute. Rainwater would be collected in a cistern on the tower's roof and be released down this chute.
Okay.
This predates modern mechanical flush toilets by roughly 300 years.
Okay. I mean, to make that effective, you gotta have really good aim with your booty hole, right? You gotta kinda... That's actually really smart. I wonder if that shaft gets clogged. Somebody's gotta clean it out.
Again, this is the only one of its type in the whole country.
Oh, do you see the fly buzzing around? Yeah.
It's easy to get lost in the rare historic marvel of this current Clifford's Tower. But incredibly, reminders of the 1190 event managed to etch their way onto this new tower. Some stark thematic foreshadowing.
Okay.
The mid-1200s chapel within still contains original arcading. This peaceful area of worship was built personally for King Henry III, on the site where atrocities had occurred just half a century prior, in which contemporary chronicler William of Newburgh described the perpetrators as acting without any scruple of Christian conscientiousness. The portcullis slot is also in the chapel. Of course, these gates were used to help fortify and protect whoever was in the tower, something that this site had failed to do in the past.
Oh.
You'll also notice how much of the medieval masonry in this room is pinkish. In fact, this is a common feature throughout the whole structure, particularly in the southeast lobe. This was the result of a failed St. George's Day cannon salute in 1684. A fire blazed, the entire interior was gutted, and the stones are still charred to this day.
Oh.
As you'll soon see, this is almost like the tower symbolically saying, do not forget what happened here in 1190. So, to understand the event, let's go to the setting of medieval York, shown by one extremely literal street name.
Dewberry?
So this 13th century tower is sat on a conical mound that dates to 1068.
Oh, wow.
This was the motte for William the Conqueror's royal castle in York. The tower in 1190 was the same timber keep that William had built in 1068, bear that in mind.
Okay.
This was part of William's strategy.
Okay, so that tower wasn't there first. There was like a wooden keep, he said? Okay.
Had built in 1068, bear that in mind. This was part of William's strategy to control the north of England. Another of his tactics was to bring Jewish financiers to the country, as Jews could lend money with interest, whereas Christians could not.
Oh, was it like against Christian law or something? Like Christians were not allowed to lend money with interest, but the Jews could. Interesting.
This made them extremely useful for funding wars and projects like castles. Jews maintained a strong community in York from the 1170s until their 1290 expulsion from England.
I was going to say, I don't really think about there being many Jews in England. But, so in 1290, they were expelled.
1170s until their 1290 expulsion from England. The medieval synagogue was located here on Coney Street. This was also the house of Aaron of York.
On this site in the 13th century stood the York Synagogue and the House of Aaron of York, a significant figure in civic, Jewish, and national life, and justiciar for the Jews to Henry III.
Reputedly the wealthiest man in 1230s/1240s England. Also, in 1982, an amazing discovery was made beneath this supermarket car park, Sainsbury's. One of only 10 medieval Jewish cemeteries ever found in the country.
They built it on a graveyard. That Sainsbury's must have been haunted, y'all.
It's believed to have contained almost 1,000 burials, and it was in use from 1177, so a full 13 years before 1190.
That's a lot of
ghosts.
The
street now has the distinctive name of Dewberry. So, medieval York hosted a vibrant...
Something about that feels wrong, you know? I don't know.
Distinctive name of Dewberry. So, medieval York hosted a vibrant Jewish community. But on the 16th of March, 1190, the whole community temporarily fell silent, and the remains still lay in this mound to this day.
In the mound?
At the end of the 12th century, England was swept up in the zeal of the Crusades. Anti-Jewish riots broke out everywhere as King Richard I prepared for the Third Crusade. A false rumour spread that Richard had ordered the banishment of Jews in 1189. The attacks soon reached York, as told by William of Newburgh.
Wait, so it was a rumour that he called for that, but he didn't. Is that what they're saying? Anti-Jewish riots broke out everywhere.
A false rumour spread that Richard had ordered the banishment of Jews in 1189. The attacks soon reached York, as told by William of Newburgh. In York, it said the Jewish leaders lived like princes of their people and tyrants to the Christians. The Coney Street houses were looted, killing everyone inside. Consequently, the entire Jewish community in York fled to the old timber tower here.
Okay. Yes, I think this is the atrocity that I heard about before.
The royal status afforded them protection from the attacks.
Oh, yeah. Be sure to go to Britmapped and like and subscribe.
Mob gathered protection from the attacks. Yet still, a bloodthirsty mob gathered down here. The mob were led by men from Norman families that William the Conqueror had brought over, attacking Jews that William had also brought over, at William's castle. The Jews lay trapped for 3 days, before taking matters into their own hands.
Oh, wow.
Each father cut the throat of his wife and kids, and then
each father cut the throat of his wife and kids. Wow. Oh my God. Can you imagine being in such a position where that was the good option? What does it say here on the plaque? On the night of Friday, 16 March, 1190, some 150 Jews and Jewesses of York, having sought protection in the royal castle on this site from a mob incited by Richard Malabis and others, chose to die at each other's hands rather than renounce their faith. Oh, wow. Wow.
and had his own throat cut by the rabbi.
Oh my God, the rabbi had to... Wow. I don't remember this in the part that I heard about. I thought they all burned, which, I mean, that's horrible, but wow. Man.
The wooden tower was then set alight. A small number escaped on the promise that if they baptized, they would be free. But they were instantly killed by the mob instead. William of Newburgh himself had a disdain for Jews, yet even he said that detestable cruelty of the murderers is unpardonable. Every member of the Jewish community, estimated at 150, perished that night, none of whom were buried in the Jewish cemetery on Dewberry. The mob then charged to York Minster, burning every single record of debts they owed to the now deceased Jewish population.
Oh, interesting. I don't remember hearing about that whole part of it, the financial part. Wow. Man.
The gentry leaders of the mob were all in large debts to the Jewish moneylenders, and this was the perfect opportunity. All of it gone. The mound was then raised to its current height. The famous tower plodded on top not long after.
Oh, okay, so that's not the tower that it happened in. It was the wooden keep where it happened. Okay, now I'm putting it together. Okay.
All on the ashes of one night of horror.
Oh god, and they're
Although
all in that
not visible anywhere now, charred remains were found in a 1903 excavation and are still beneath here today.
Oh my god.
But reminders of that fateful night still respectfully hide in plain sight thanks to the people of York, with a connection to Anne Frank. Around April each year, the conical mound is covered in a yellow blanket. These are videos I took on the 8th of March, when the 100,000 daffodils started to bloom.
Oh.
This is no accident. See, this type of daffodil contains 6 outer segments, used here to represent the Star of David.
I see it.
In memory of the victims. In 2012, a rose plant was gifted from Japan. Otto Frank had sent a rose to a young Japanese girl who read Anne Frank's diary in the 70s. Grafts were taken of that rose, and one was planted here in 2012, symbolically looking at Clifford's tower. Finally, in 1978, a memorial was added at the base of the tower with the Hebrew quote, "Let them give glory unto the Lord, and declare his praise in the islands." This is the story of Clifford's tower.
Man, y'all be sure to go to Britmapped and like and subscribe. Gosh. Those were dark times, you know? As bad as we think the world is now, life has a lot more value, I think, now than it did back then. It seems like, anyway, right? Gosh, I like that the community doesn't try to hide it. They accept it just as a part of the history. There's a plaque to it. You know, they acknowledge that it happened. They're not trying to cover it up. Because it's part of history. It's part of the identity of the city, right? I think that's really important. If you try to cover that stuff up, other people come along later in history and think, well, what if we do this? Well, we already tried that, and it didn't really go too well. You know? Let's learn from it. I don't know what I'm talking about, but anyway, I'd like to thank my patrons. I'd like to thank my Buy Me a Coffee folks. Thank y'all for watching this with me, and I'll see y'all next time.